Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we break down the complex world of business and finance so you don't have to. Today we're diving into some interesting news from Inception Growth Acquisition Limited. And let's just say they've had a bit of a scheduling shuffle, which might actually be good news for some investors. So Inception Growth Acquisition Limited, or GTA as we'll call them, has just filed this report which basically tells us about a change to a meeting they're holding. It's not the usual financial report where we get to pick apart numbers, but it does reveal some important timing changes that directly affect investors. What this report is really telling us is that a big meeting for their stockholders, the people who own parts of the company, got postponed. Originally planned for July 25th, this special meeting for approving proposals about their future business plans, like a big merger or acquisition, has been moved. So they called this meeting to order on July 25th, but then immediately decided to push it back to August 8th. This is a common tactic when a company isn't sure they have enough votes or needs more time to get approvals. It's like hitting the pause button on a big decision. Now, IGTA is a special kind of company called a SPAC, which is a shell company that pulls money from investors to buy another company. So their stock is made up of different pieces, like shares of common stock, these things called redeemable warrants, and rights for more shares. It's quite a mix, and this meeting is all about getting the green light for whatever they plan to acquire. If you're an investor and confused by this postponement or have questions, the company has provided contact information for their proxy solicitor, which is essentially a professional service that helps manage shareholder votes and communication. This is a really key piece of information for investors who might be rethinking their investment, because the meeting date has changed. The deadline for investors to ask for their money back if they don't like the company's proposed deal has also been extended. Originally, if you wanted to cash out your shares instead of waiting for the merger, you had to let them know by July 23rd. But now with the meeting pushed to August 8th, that redemption deadline has moved to August 6th. This gives investors a bit more breathing room to decide if they want out before the new company or deal officially goes through. It's an extra 2 weeks, which in the fast-paced world of investing can make a big difference in how people feel about their investment. This report itself is dated July 28th, and it's mainly confirming what the company announced in a press release on that same day. So the information about the meeting adjournment and the extended redemption deadline is official. The report also reminds us that the company's directors and officers might be involved in asking shareholders to vote in a certain way. This is standard stuff in these filings, just a heads up that the people running the company are encouraging you to vote. For anyone who wants to dig even deeper, they mention previous filings, specifically a proxy statement from May and a supplement filed in June. These older documents contain all the detailed proposals and information about the deal they're trying to get approved. It's like the backstory that explains why this meeting is even happening. The SEC website is always the place to go for all these documents if you want the full unedited version. And just to wrap up the filing, they've attached a copy of that press release they issued on July 28th as an exhibit. This is common practice to include the actual announcements that support the filing. So what does all this mean for Inception Growth Acquisition Limited and its investors? Well, the postponement of the meeting and the extension of the redemption deadline could signal a few things. On one hand, it might mean the company is struggling to get enough shareholder support for its deal. They need a certain number of votes to go through with their acquisition, and if they're short, they have to try and rally more support or face delays. On the other hand, extending the redemption deadline can be seen as a move to potentially retain capital. SPACs raise money in trust accounts, and when investors redeem their shares, that money goes back to them. By extending this deadline, the company is giving investors more time to reconsider, and if fewer people redeem, IGTA will have more cash to deploy for its acquisition. This could be a positive sign if they believe the deal they've struck is a good one and want to give more investors a chance to vote yes. However, it also highlights the uncertainty surrounding the deal. The fact that they needed to adjourn the meeting suggests that perhaps the terms of the acquisition aren't universally popular, or there's a significant portion of shareholders who are on the fence or leaning towards redeeming. For investors watching, this extension is a chance to get out if they're worried about the deal or the future of the combined company. The ultimate success of Inception Growth Acquisition Limited will depend on their ability to get their proposed business combination approved and then perform well in the market after the acquisition. The extended timeline might be a necessary evil to ensure they have the right backing, but it also keeps the suspense going. We'll have to keep an eye on that August 8th meeting date for the final outcome. Alright, that's our breakdown of Inception Growth Acquisition Limited's latest update. What's your take on these scheduling changes and what they might mean for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.